artist who was originally called himself Desidertot, now he's Monogramista. I'm going to make extremely boring PechaKucha, so I do believe you will have a fun with other speakers, because I just want to read some sentences, because Monogramista said something what I must repeat. At the beginning I have to say that he is recognized on himself as an artist. He feels more being a metaphor. He feels is running, he's a professor on Academy of Fine Arts, where he have non-studio, and Kunsthalle Bratislava decided to make non-exhibition of Monogramista. So this is the artist which we want to organize this show in a very interactive way. We want to make it participatory. This is one of his political works, when he says that he was born in Czechoslovakia during the communist totalitarianism, but it was as well the best part of his life, because it was his childhood. This is one of his very early pieces. He started to work at the end of 60s, beginning of 70s. This is the postcard he sent to his friends when they gave army service, and he was trying to explain on which stops the train should come, like the female body. This is the ticket which was originally used for trains in Slovakia, saying the words like game, work, sex, idea. This was a project which we were planning to exhibit here in this place in the first show, Paradox 90s, in Kunsthalle Bratislava. These were shoes made out of bread. It was originally exhibited in synagogue in Trnava. There was also a sound level of this installation when there was counting number of Jewish people deported from Trnava during the Second World War. This was interactive project where this poet, Monogramista, they was giving poems to the collectors or audience floor plans. This was another participative project where he was giving these cards with the names of objects which are around us. For ICA Congress train, he was preparing these cards with the objects which you can see from the train. So we plan to make this show very participatory, not to make it as a regular exhibition, but something totally experimental. A collection of poetry creates the essence of banalities. This didn't result in creative paradoxes and illogisms. Rather, these are the outcome of different thinking. Different thinking is the mind's hobby. It's what comes about after hours, in this case, after thinking. In the situation in which banalities came about, the conceptual thinking of the 70s, they are post-conceptual. I cannot find in any of my other work the value in living behind painting the way I can in the banalities cycle. The value is that I'm myself, that I have torn my opportunity to be an author into fragments from which someone else put together the picture of a poet. You say I breed blending to nature. I can agree with that. Still, my possibilities are neither in the environment nor in the style that the theoreticians want to see me in: humility, silence, devotion. Since I live a city person's life, this is the blending possibilities I take to nature. I don't bring, I take. I don't show, I want to see. Otherwise, what would all these bureaucratic announcements, directives, and warnings mean, unless they speak their anecdotes with the audacity of a prophet and the envy of nature? For me, those works remain an expression of a desire which knows that the life it lives cannot blend with nature. Don't you think we should take more care of impossibility? Isn't that the refugee we escape to? Isn't this the ecology they label both of us with? In working with words, the perspective of a poet, clown, interests me more than any other. Apollinaire, Birot, Collage, and Novak, as well as Ferlinghetti's broadsides, help make sure that I didn't become a professional typographer or a pure conceptualist. As I see it, the poetic dimension is not just in words, meanings, the familiarization and metaphor. It's also an impenetrable time which is precise when it comes to letters. I go into trance when I see a fragment of a damaged facade phrase, a poorly illuminated neon slogan. Sometimes looking at the letter mobilizes me for minutes. If I have ever had a mystical experience, it was when faced with a letter. Artist book. When I was a kid and adults would never stop asking what I wanted to be, I gave them answer they found acceptable, but in my own mind I had only one answer. I wanted to be a book. Later I had the opportunity to read my undeclared wish in books. Like me, others also wanted to be books. I realized that what I had regarded as my own whim was actually born out of a book. When I had a different childhood dream, but actually the same one. I wanted to be a clown. If I try hard enough to be a book, my dream will come true. The first object in the Skin series originated in 1997 for personal reasons. My father has died. I wrapped bits of self-stick paper tape around an empty alcohol bottle, then skinned it and sat in an empty nick. The reality of emptiness materializing before the eyes creates the receptacle's essence and the surroundings, which look like a bottle, jerrycan, or tin. It's just the debris, discarded concept.